Hey guys, please share a little bit of grace with me on this one. We had a new piece of equipment purchased for us by a great friend, and unfortunately, I didn't completely figure it out before we recorded this episode, and the sound quality isn't the best. As you can tell by listening to this, I have since figured it out, and all of our episodes going forward will be much better. But this one's not the best. Please forgive us. We appreciate you listening. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Welcome to Dream Small. I'm Jason.
And I'm Whitney.
In a world challenging you to chase big, we dare you to dream small.
We're a family of 8 who's fostered, adopted, and stumbled our way through learning that small, everyday choices can change lives.
Join us as we share stories and encouragement to help you live out your purpose. I am so excited to share our first sponsor with you guys. His name is Ray Podesta. He is a realtor with Stone Gable Realty. His contact number is 317-538-3226. You can reach him at his email as well, ray@stoneandgable.com. Ray's a great guy. He came up to me after church one Sunday and said, "Hey man, do you need anything for your podcast?" And I said, "Yeah, I could actually use a better piece of recording equipment." And that Tuesday, him and his daughter stopped by and dropped it off. He just did it because he's awesome. He didn't want to be mentioned. He just did it because he's great. So if you're in Central Indiana and you need to buy a house or sell a house, please reach out to Ray Podesta with Stone and Gable Realty, 317-538-3226. Whitney, when this week started, did you think you would become a green heron expert like you have?
I didn't even know what they were. I mean, let's be honest, but if enjoying watching 2 birds makes me an old person, okay, here I am. I even have a white, like gray eyebrow hair, so I'm old.
Probably because you were stressed about these little birds all week is probably the main reason why.
Yeah, no kidding. I was. They were like the cutest little thing.
Okay,
and then we thought one died, and the rescue people came out twice. Like,
story.
Holy cow, I have an extra job.
On Monday morning, I believe, we noticed 2. We were married. Everything is we, unless you crash the car. We found 2 little, obviously babyish type birds at the base of a tree in our front yard.
One was fat and one was like the runt of the litter.
And Whitney affectionately named them Chuck for the fat one and Duck for the skinny one. We had no idea what they were, right? They were just hanging around, so we watched them, and they eventually migrated over to our bushes right in front of our house, right off our porch.
We were just like duck gazers.
Yeah, so
the first.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on. We graduated to officially old people, so I used the old Chat GPT.
And Jason judged me. He thought I was like a fool for loving these birds. Like he basically called me a grandma.
So first of all, we had a light rain shower one evening, and she went, "Oh, they're getting rained on."
They were snuggling together.
These are herons. These are water birds, mind you. Also,
they didn't like it. They did not
also like keep in mind, Whitney has thrown me outside in the middle of a thunderstorm before to go secure pool toys in the backyard of our house. So,
babies.
Worried about water birds getting rained on, chucking husband outside in a thunderstorm to secure inflatable toys.
You know
anyway.
What? Defend the cause of the weak.
Anyway.
And the powerless.
Anyway.
Amen.
So.
That'll preach.
So one day, I think it was Tuesday morning, Whitney goes outside to check on our beloved birds, and she discovers one of them down, like at the base of one of our bushes, and has very clearly been injured. So she calls a local rehabber that we didn't realize we had worked with before, but we've actually taken another bird to before that had crashed into one of our windows.
Whitney had to take another bird.
So we contacted the rehabber. They came and picked up the poor injured bird, and Whitney shared 20 minutes looking for the other one?
No, we spent 30 minutes looking for Duck.
The skinny one. Duck had disappeared. So we spent 20 minutes looking for Duck. I'm sorry, not we. You and
you were at work.
Rehabber guy spent 30 minutes looking for Duck. Duck had disappeared. We kind of just assumed Duck was dead. He was gone.
I'm preaching at our local impact center Saturday morning, and I receive a text message from my beloved wife. He's alive! Duck's alive! And she claims she saw him walking into our garage. Anyway, fast forward. We call same rehabber. We see Duck. We took videos of Duck, pictures of Duck. We think he's in our bushes. Rehabber comes out. We can't find Duck. Oh my God.
Really good.
He's a ninja.
Yeah. Duck likes to.
Fast forward to Saturday evening. Our son comes running in from outside. Oh my gosh, Mom, Duck's on our chair. So Whitney.
Out back, not out front.
Out back. Whitney drops everything she's doing naturally, runs out back. Duck had made it. We have this bush tree thingy. I don't even know what kind of vegetation it is. It's like a tree.
It's a flowering bush that is big enough to be.
It's like 20. It has 20. Anyway, so Whitney goes up and looks up at it, and she sees Duck, and she sees Chuck. So the injured bird that got taken away was a third one we had never seen. So her beloved green herons are alive and well. And this morning I saw Mama Green Heron deliver food to them. Well, I assume it was food. I saw a heron fly into the bush and 30 seconds fly out. So I assume it was Mama Bird delivering things. Based on my research with ChatGPT, the birds are doing well and everything. So it's been kind of fun. I feel like we're basically National Geographic explorers at our house this week.
I'm basically living out my dream of being in a moo-moo on a farm. In an HOA.
And 6 minutes into our podcast, we have finished our entry story. So
we like birds now.
It was pretty neat. All right, this week we are just taking a week to reflect on the times where God has just shown off and shown up in our lives in our 7-year foster care journey.
And it's really fun to think back and reflect on the ways that God has shown up. And over the years, multiple times, I've been told and I've said, I really need to write these things down because I'm going to forget them someday. And here we are, it's someday, and I'm trying to rack my brain to remember all the ways God has shown up. And so we're going to cover a couple of them that stood out to us, but unfortunately touched the surface. And if you think about it, I was telling Jason, God shows up every day for all of us. You just have to be looking for it and open to it.
There are lots of very small daily examples of God showing up. These are some really big ones. And without a doubt, we have forgotten some along the 7 years. So if you're a friend of ours and you know of something that we clearly have forgotten, please give us some grace and just forgive us.
And help us remember, because I do need to go back and write it all down.
All right, we're going to get started and just sharing. There's no particular order. They're not chronological, not in big God stuff to smaller God stuff. We're just reminiscing. But first, I wanted to start off with a quote from our pastor he shared during church today. When your hands are open, so is your heart. And when your heart is open, you're ready to say yes to God's call.
I love it.
It's awesome.
I love it. Yeah. So I was trying to think back to the earlier days of fostering, and not super early on, but probably 2 years in, we fostered a very large toddler who has, due to some medical disability and to some unfortunate circumstances, had the physical developmental age as maybe a 2-month-old, very, very low skills. He was a big boy. And goodness, he was probably 30, 35 pounds. All that to say, we needed some special equipment for this child. And one of the things, our adopted daughter was a baby at this point too. One of the things that we needed was a special type of double stroller that would accommodate his needs and his size, as well as for our very small other foster child at the time. So I found one online that was exactly what I needed, and it was disgustingly expensive. I want to say it was probably $800.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, it was awful. But yeah, what baby items are cheap, right? So it was like $800, and I reached out to a group of friends and just kind of they asked, what do we need? And I was like, I think we're good. Like, we need something to be able to transport, like, to soccer games, yada, yada. So they donated money, and it was not $800, but they all donated what they could. They Venmo'd me a certain amount of money that they pulled together to donate to us to put towards the type of stroller that we needed. That same day, I looked on Facebook Marketplace and I found the exact stroller that we needed for the exact amount that they had given us. And I mean, goodness gracious, like that's not coincidence, right? That doesn't just happen. It was absolutely God showing up and meeting that need through them. So it was pretty cool. And I'm a really bad storyteller, you guys. I'm way better at just talking.
I had totally forgotten about it. I'm glad we're doing this. I totally forgot that
right?
Story. Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, next story. So this story is ridiculous. You probably won't even believe it.
We should close out with this one. You want to share already?
Yeah, okay. We'll close out with that one.
I guess we should just share it now.
Okay.
Nobody likes to tease.
Okay, I'm going to share it now. You change your mind again, or can I share it now? Okay, we'll share it now.
I would hate to wait.
It was in October of 23. Lady at church that Whitney did Bible study with approached her. Her and her husband owned a construction company.
She didn't know us that well.
No, they did not know us that well. And she approached and said, "Hey, we've been talking, and we really wanted to do something for a foster family."
No, wrong.
Okay, why don't you tell this part?
Yeah.
Okay.
She comes up to me and she was like, "Whitney, my husband and I have been wanting to do something for a foster family. We want to bless your family." She said, "We want to build a room for you." She said, "Do you need a room in your basement? Do you need a garage converted? What can we do to help make your house more suitable for fostering?" And at this point, I was like, "Thank you, but we're good. Thank you. But there are so many other families that truly could use that blessing more than me." Like, I actually know of families with parents currently sleeping in their garage as a makeshift bedroom because they've given their master suite to foster children. So, what an honor to be offered this. But I was like, we're good. We don't need it. We have 5 kids. We have, how many rooms did we have? 5 rooms?
5 bedrooms, yes.
Yeah, we were good. We didn't really have that need. Everyone had a bedroom. I think at that point, everyone had their own bedroom. I can't do math super great, but we were good.
Yes. Every child had their own bedroom because you and I share a bedroom. Yeah. And the 4 children each had one of their own.
Yeah, we had 4 kids then.
So fast forward to February. So that was in October of 2023. Fast forward to February of 24. And we get a call for a 3-month-old baby that we say yes to. In the meantime, we had told that couple, like, "Hey, here's some things you can do for us if you really want to do it for." They were odds and ends stuff, nothing.
Right.
We went back to them and said, "So if you still really want to build a bedroom for us, we're actually just accepted a placement for another baby, and we could really use that bedroom." And they came and put a bedroom in our basement.
So we have a finished basement, but yeah, they came and very quickly, they framed it out and they added a second bedroom to our basement. So everyone was able to have their own bedroom again. Because let me tell you, I know people share bedrooms and they're like, just let your kids share. We've never had success with that. Like, it's been awful. We have tried. We play bedroom roulette every other month, it feels like.
It's terrible.
And it never works out.
The problem is we put one kid that's sleeping phenomenally with another kid that's a terrorist when they sleep, and we don't want the terrorist to wake the other one, and so me and Wade get minimal sleep.
It's just high stress, right? So it's never worked out. So yeah, so they showed up, they created this bedroom, everything's hunky-dory. And then a couple months later, I had this realization, hold up, wait a minute.
Hold up, wait a minute.
And I looked back at the dates on my calendar. I looked back to the day that I had Bible study and spoke with this lady. And it was within days of the foster placement that we took in February of her being born.
How about that?
When she offered to build us a bedroom, God stirred that in her. And I turned her down because we didn't need it. But lo and behold, we did need it.
How about
and
that?
He was providing through her before we ever even knew it was going to be a need. Isn't that wild? Like, of all of the days on the calendar, she met with me and offered this bedroom, specifically a bedroom and a basement was what she said, before we ever even knew we needed one. It was wild.
Now our two oldest have like this little
they're just living it up.
Mini suite in the basement that they're living the high life at down here.
They have basically a 2-bedroom apartment down here. Like, I want to live down here.
They've grossed it up well enough.
I mean, yeah,
you have to fumigate and all the things. Anyway, so I mean, that's just an incredible story. And with that one, we'll also tell another story that goes along with that same foster placement.
Yeah. How about this? This is a quick one, I promise. So
hold on. I just want to brace you guys. Anytime Whitney says this is a quick one, she's lying. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. She says it's a quick one, she's lying.
Well, I feel like I also already said I'm not the greatest storyteller, and I tend to have a lot of squirrels with my thoughts. If you haven't noticed yet, welcome to my world.
They've noticed. I promise. They've noticed.
Okay, so here we go. Same placement. We had just gotten back from vacation. I think we mentioned on a different podcast. I said to Jason, we were on vacation together celebrating our 10th anniversary. And I said to him, we're going to be getting a baby when we get back. He was like, okay. I was like, no, I know it. We are. So we got back from vacation, I think on a Friday or a Saturday. I go to work that Monday and I'm working at a church. A church member calls me, knowing that I'm affiliated with the foster care ministry. And she says, do you know of any foster families that could use a crib? We have a crib we're looking to donate. I said, I don't, but I'm sure I can find one. Let me take down your information. I'll get back to you. That was like at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. 2 p.m. that same Monday, I get a call from DCS asking if we would take placement of a 3-month-old baby girl. And I said, well, we don't have a bed, but I think I can remedy that because you have to have a bed for a foster placement. They will not place the child with you if you don't have a bed for them. So
that includes not a pack and play. It has to be a crib.
It has to be a real bed. Yeah. Like a real crib.
Or a bassinet will work for the newbies.
Yeah. But I said, yeah, we can take a placement. I was expecting this call, like weird, but I was. Took the placement, got home from work that day. There's another caseworker here for our son. Our house is like popping and buzzing with all the people. I didn't know when baby was going to show up. I was still waiting to hear back from the caseworker. All of a sudden the doorbell rings. There she is. I was like, oh, okay. I guess you're coming now. And then, so anyway, sorry, back up. So I said yes to the placement. They're going to let me know when. Okay. I called back the church member and I say, hey, this is kind of weird, but are you okay if my family takes that crib? And I explained what happened. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. Her husband delivered it that day. Like he brought it over to our house, put it on our front porch. Jason and our son brought it inside, put it together. We were good to go. We had a crib for that placement that day.
You know the thing I remember the most about that crib?
That it was a really cool color and matched the bedroom?
No, I don't care about the color. Hey, Dad knows this. Most of these cribs are way over engineered and they are a pain in the butt to put together. Whoever designed this crib deserves a Nobel Peace Prize because it was so easy to put together.
I say was, but she still sleeps.
Yeah, it's still up there. But,
yeah.
I mean, we haven't put it back together. Like she still sleeps in it, but it was fantastic. So yeah.
Yeah. So that was a fun story too.
That was only 4.5 minutes. Good job. All right, let's stay with the theme of picking a kid and telling their stories. Let's go with Leah Girl.
Okay.
Her stories. Okay.
So this is fun. I think we might have already.
That's okay. Well, there's new people.
Yeah.
Can't assume people listen to
I feel like it's a repeat. Sorry, my bad. But with our now adopted daughter, Leah, we had another placement with us. He was 3 months old. He was getting ready to go home to reunify, which was a great situation. His caseworker called me on a Friday afternoon. I'm driving the big kids up to a dentist appointment. And she says, hey, Whitney, I know so-and-so is getting ready to go home. I know you might want to take a break, but I just got a new file on my desk. Little baby's in the office right now, actually. She said, I think we'll be able to have it squared away and figured out by Monday. Can you just give her some TLC through the weekend? I was like, well, we already have an infant and we have 2 little ones of our own. I don't know. Let me call Jason. He'll be the voice of reason. So typically I would call Jason and expect him to be the voice of reason. And in my mind, he'd say, you're crazy. No, we're about to get a break from having a newborn placement. That has been a little bit challenging. You know, he was coming off some withdrawals and stuff. I mean, we finally got him to a good place and then he was going home, right? Like, so I expected Jason to be like, no, like, we're going to get sleep. We're going to catch up, get back to us. Then we'll say yes to another placement. I called Jason. He's like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, let's go.
So,
and she's been with us since.
Yeah, that sweet little weekend turned into 7 years, and here we are. And she's ours forever. But yeah, so that was amazing. And then another part of that story, shortly before Leah came to us, I became acquainted through a foster mom group with a woman who worked in the NICU and with a lot of babies and nursing moms. Got to know her. When Leah came to us, she had a lot of health issues. She was essentially drowning every time she drank a bottle. She came to us on a Friday night. By Sunday morning, I knew something was not right with how she was taking bottles. I messaged this woman and I said, hey, Lauren, you know, here's what's happening. I think I sent her a video of it. I said, I don't know what to do. Do you have any suggestions? And she said, bring her over to my house this afternoon. I want to feed her and see what's going on. So I brought her over to her house. She fed her. She immediately diagnosed what was going on. She was like, she's silently aspirating. Be prepared. She's probably going to need a feeding tube. She said, you need to call the pediatrician first thing Monday morning and say that you need to get in. You need to get seen. She told me, I remember pulling out my notes app and she told me all of the things to say to the pediatrician. And lo and behold, she had a feeding tube that week. So God just kind of, you know, placed these people in our path to help her and help us along the way, which was amazing to look back on and see how that all played out.
And one final one associated with Leah is Leah's first year of life was pretty much kids stay alive. She just had a lot of health issues. She just, nothing grotesquely serious, just a lot of stuff that kept her from doing well. And once again, we've mentioned the infamous Grammy before on multiple prior episodes, and she was out here visiting when our little girl had to be hospitalized for quite a long time, and she was here to help us out like she is so many times.
Right? Yeah, you think, you know, we'll never be able to do it. We won't have people. We don't have the resources. But man, like we've said before, if you are walking in obedience, he is going to honor.
God will align, will quote unquote, align all the coincidences to make sure things happen that need to happen.
He provides. He is so good to us.
All right, let's finish. We'll just do Braveries.
Okay. Our adopted son. So another fun story, similar to what I shared earlier about being on vacation and me saying we're going to get a baby. We were planning a trip for my 40th birthday, and my birthday is mid-May, and where we live in Indianapolis, Memorial Day weekend's kind of a big deal with the Indy 500, and I had told a friend of mine who fosters that we would do respite for her foster child the week of Memorial Day when they went on vacation. And, you know, I get the need, right? Like it is such a need to have respite people for your foster children so you can get a break, go on vacation, whatever you need to do. So I had said, yep, we'll do respite for your son. No big deal. And, then I just felt this like pit in my stomach saying I need to be available. And I remember going on vacation.
Hold on, let me tell this part of the story.
Okay.
So we went to Cincinnati. That was our vacation, 2 hours down the road.
It was really a vacation. It was for my birthday.
It was a weekend.
It was a weekend away in a hotel to see my man.
I took her to see her man.
My extra man.
Her extra man.
Who apparently is a home wrecker or whatever.
And that doesn't matter. We were sitting.
I don't think that was ever proven.
Sure. We were sitting on the Ohio River, just kind of hanging out. And
when you broke your phone, you broke my phone.
Broke your phone?
Yeah, correct it.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time we rode electric scooters, and we thought those were really cool.
That was super fun.
Yeah, Whitney scared to death on them. Anyway, we were sitting on the Ohio River, and Whitney proceeds to tell me about this baby we're going to get, that we're getting ready to get a baby we're going to adopt someday.
Well, not exactly. I told James.
That's how I read it. I think that is what you said.
Maybe. But I told him, I said.
But that's probably my condensed version of your story.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot more to it. It was a lot of me externally processing. We're supposed to do respite, but I feel strongly that I need to be available. But how do I call this foster mama and say, hey, sorry, I don't actually have a good, solid reason why I have to back out, but I have to back out of doing respite. And I was so torn about that. Do you remember that part of the conversation?
This was a afternoon when this happened, this conversation. We went to her man's concert that Saturday night, drove home that Sunday, and that Sunday is when our little guy was born.
Yeah. So pretty much like within hours of me texting my friend and saying, I'm really sorry. I know this does not make sense. I get it. If you're mad at me, but please forgive me. We cannot do respite in 2 weeks for you. And I explained why. I said, thank God she was a believer. And I said, I just feel God really telling me to be available. Okay. So she got it. No big deal. Thankfully, she found someone else to watch her son. All was right with the world. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from a caseworker, a former caseworker of ours. And she said, hey, Whitney, I don't know if you have any beds available right now, but there is a newborn that kind of is attached to one of my caseloads. And I'm wondering if you could take him in for 6 weeks. He was kind of a surprise baby. When he's ready to be discharged, can you take him in? So I was like, well, there it is. The whole week of Memorial Day week that we would have had this respite placement, I was able to spend with him in the NICU while he withdrew from.
Well, he was recovering from withdrawal.
Yes.
Yep.
Which I would have never been able to do had we had a respite placement. So it's just wild. And then we brought him home.
Yeah, and the plan for him was to stay with us for just 6 weeks until he could go to the planned long-term placement and eventual adoptive home. But he came to us, and he's never left.
And it's wild. I said to them.
And you knew it.
Yeah, I told them. I told the guardian ad litem and the FCM, they were saying, for 6 weeks. And I was like, haha, funny, not funny. He's actually going to be here forever. Like, I know in my gut, God brought him here. And I said to them, I don't know if you're a believer. You might think I'm absolutely crazy, but he's actually not going anywhere. Yeah. He's going to be staying here. And
just understand, that's a little crazy to say to caseworker, hey, he's never leaving my house.
And I've never said that before, but I did say it and I also had a relationship with them, but I was like, I know this sounds crazy. I'm not a crazy foster parent. I'm actually completely for reunification when it's right. But in this situation, I just knew, like, God put him on my heart, and I knew.
Yeah, he wasn't going anywhere.
No, yeah.
And the final story, right? I think this is our last story for this one.
Yeah, we can wrap it up with this one.
So this is a very scenic journey.
Good luck.
Oh, man. So
let's see if you can do it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a 2-minute story. This one might be.
You might be. You have to keep a lot of it out. So
yeah.
It might be.
So we had a little girl with us when she was 3.5 years ago. Yeah, 3.5 years ago. We had her for about 8-10 months. And I'll say a rogue judge decided that she should go home when she absolutely should not have.
Against everyone else's.
Every single other humans other than the visit supervisor's recommendation. The judge just decided to send this kiddo home. The kiddo went home. Fast forward to actually a year ago from today, Whitney received a cancer diagnosis, which was scary, right? We were going through that.
Yeah.
So we had just come off that diagnosis, and it was October. It was 2 weeks prior to Whitney disappearing for 2 weeks because of her treatment she needed for the type of cancer she was diagnosed with. It's a Friday night.
I will never forget this phone call.
We're hanging out in the kitchen. It's like 8:15, right? 8:30-ish, maybe.
My phone rings with an Indy zip code.
Anytime an Indy zip code
on a Friday night.
On Friday night, we know it's DCS telling us the placement, and Whitney's like,
I was like, I'm not going to answer it. There's no point.
And I just look, I was like, just answer.
Jason goes, it'll be fun. Just answer it.
It'll be fun. Just answer it. She goes in the other room and she walks around the corner like she had just seen a ghost. Her eyes big around, and she goes, "It's the kiddo. It's this kiddo we had been praying for every single day since she went home 2.5 years ago."
Screaming, say yes. And I'm like, but we don't have a bed. And he goes, I'll sleep outside.
I'll sleep in the yard. Yeah, so we have at the top of our stairs, we actually have a little shelf where we have pictures of all of our foster kiddos that have been in our home and have gone home. We never put a picture up of this foster kiddo because we always felt like she'd be coming back to us.
Yeah, we just kind of wanted to leave space for her. And the pictures at the top of the stairs, it felt like closure, right?
Finality,
and it's a way to see them and pray for them and think about them and remember. But this was a kiddo that first of all, no one in our family ever got closure. How she went home, the kids never got to say goodbye. They got home from school one day and she was gone. Like, it was hard. If you talk to our oldest kids about it, they will still tell you it was like one of the hardest times of their life. Like, our son will still tear up talking about it.
If you talk to any foster family, they'll tell you about their always yes. This kiddo was ours.
Yeah.
So just to see how we've been, I mean, I'm not going to say I pray for her every day. I will say I pray for her most days.
Yeah.
I can say that with integrity. Most days she was in my prayers. We always worried about her, that we'd see her on the news, right?
Yeah.
And then it just so happened 2 weeks before Whitney was leaving for cancer treatments, we were forced with the decision, were we going to be obedient and say yes?
At the most seemingly horrible time.
I mean, it was the hardest time of our lives, right? Like, we had 2 vans break down that summer.
We already had 5 kids. We were both working full time. I was fighting cancer.
My dad had just... He was literally dying of dementia, and he ended up passing away December of last. So, I mean, it was the hardest season of my entire life by far.
Yeah.
And were we going to remain faithful and obedient? And we did.
It was, well, for Jason, it was a no-brainer. For me, I'm trying to protect him. I think he's not thinking through this clearly. Maybe we say, find a temporary place and we'll take her in a month. Holy cow, how's Jason going to do 6 kids on his own for 2.5 weeks? But he was an immediate, did not bat an eye, did not think about it. Hands down, absolutely say yes. And I mean, he literally said, I will sleep outside.
I mean, that also comes with, I have an incredible employer. We had an incredible nanny who's still a great friend, who we will have on this show eventually to tell her story because she's awesome.
Yeah.
So I knew we had a lot of other things playing in our favor. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't going Lone Ranger here and thinking I was.
But it was so crazy.
I wasn't putting on a cape and being a hero.
You were.
I knew I had people support, but yeah, we weren't going to say, we would never have said no.
No. Yeah. But, and the ways that God showed up through that season also were incredible and mind-blowing.
I mean, it's just incredible. You can't get God to show up and really feel his presence if you don't give him the opportunity to work.
One of the super cool things to look back on, and it's something that I wrestled with for a really long time. Why, and I still wrestle with it if I'm being honest, why did she ever have to go home? Because now, 3.5 years later, we are trying to undo so much trauma and unnecessary pain and heartache that this poor child has been through.
And our kids.
Yeah. All of it. The confusion, all of it. We're backstepping so much, and it's hard. Nothing in it is easy. But I look and I see God's sovereignty through it all, because had she not gone home, we would have not said yes to Braden. We would have never accepted any newborn or infant placements after her at all. I don't think we would have.
We would have remained a family of 4 and not a family of 6.
Yeah. I think we would have said, no, we're good. There's a lot of needs in that family of 4 between medical diagnoses and neurodivergence. Like, there is a lot going on in that little package of 4 kids. We don't need more. We can't do more.
And now there's a lot going on in that package of 6 kids.
Yeah. Like, but how God worked, God knew, right? And I hate to say that it was at anyone's
peril.
Yeah. And that's something I will always
we might ask
struggle
God
with
when we get to heaven.
I'm going to have a lot of questions for God when we get to heaven. When she came back to us, I said that to several people. I was like, I cannot wait to sit down and have a conversation with God. Like, please give me my judgment, but can we talk first? Like, I also would like some answers.
I would probably let him judge you first and then chat.
But can you just answer my questions too, please? Because, like, that timing, why? And I don't know. Like, he knew we'd say yes, right? But yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
God is good, you guys. He is good. And when you are walking in obedience to his call, whatever that looks like for your life, it is amazing to just watch him show up.
Yeah. So thanks for taking a joyride with us down some of our God moments. You know, some people call these moments like this God winks. These aren't God winks. These are just God showing off and showing up. And hey, be obedient and I will show up for you moments. These are awesome. I wish I had better words, but I don't.
I know, right? Yeah.
I don't have the words.
State school vocabulary.
State school. I need to read more. That's it.
And if you guys have God moments that you want to share with us, we would love to hear
love hearing God moments.
We love to celebrate what he is doing in and through us. So share away.
Please, please, please share.
All right. Thank you guys. Until next time, dream small.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please tap that follow button or leave us a review. It helps other people find my mom's and dad's show. If you're on Spotify, please give my parents a follow and 5-star rating. And wherever you listen, don't forget to share the show with a friend who needs a little encouragement today. You can also follow us on social media and stay in the loop. Instagram at Dream Small Podcast, Facebook Dream Small Podcast, and Twitter/X at Dream Small Show. Or email us anytime at dreamsmallpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. And remember, just dream small. See you next time.